Hi, folks. When you are a believer in a religion, you often find yourself involved in what is called apologetics, attempting to justify your faith in terms of relation to reality. What I have here is a collection of questions and statements actually taken from real Christians and other religious groups who try to justify their faith in terms of what an atheist might think. So I'm going to take it upon myself to answer them. Now, this is not going to be one of those, duh, why do we hustle monkeys kind of thing, because there's plenty of that on the internet. And I'm not a scientist, so not going to be any dense scientific questions. This is the kind of things that me, as an ordinary atheist, should be able to answer, and the question will hopefully be mostly sane. Mostly. Do you mean, am I scared of the idea of having my worldview shattered if it turns out the universe was in fact created? No. Present me with actual compelling evidence outside of your biased book, and I will be inclined to accept it, provided you can provide enough evidence. Am I scared of the type of divine creator described in, say, the Torah or the Bible? Hell yeah. According to those books, that guy's a total bastard. Luckily, it doesn't exist. Yes, this is a go-to when it comes to pesky things like having to think about something. You don't have to think about it, you just have to have faith. Just accept that it's real because it says so in this book. In other words, don't think about it. Don't try to exercise logic or use the brain that you say your God gave you. Just believe really, really, really hard and it'll happen. Did say that these were going to be sane, didn't I? So, according to this, if you are a good person that follows the rules of society and is not a raving jackass, you're still going to go to hell unless you are saved by the tenets of your religion. And according to some of the tenets I've seen, you're probably better off going to hell. I'm going to say yes. Look at it this way. All the evidence points to the fact that the Earth and indeed everything else developed very slowly over a long period of time according to certain physical laws, gravity, etc., and forces of evolution and so forth. If the universe was created complete and mature to make it look like it developed that way, that means only a few things. Either your God did this for some unfathomable purpose, or the devil did it, or if it was done this way, your God is a colossal troll. No. A painter is implied in something actually painted. If you see a fence that's been painted, you therefore presume that a person made the fence and another person came along and painted it with paint made by someone else using a brush made by someone else. There is zero, zip, nada, no evidence that the universe was in any sense made. And if it was made, will we have a signature somewhere? Maybe a sign up on the stars, all spelled out saying, God was here? Until you present me with some actual physical evidence, as opposed to just, it's in the Bible, so it must be true, I'm going to presume that this argument is specious nonsense. The planet Earth is a sphere, which rotates upon its axis once every 24 hours, give or take a couple minutes here and there. As it does so, a particular point on the planet turns to face the sun that it orbits, and as it rotates, the sun appears to move from the east to the west across the sky. Appears to. When the point on the planet gets to where the sun is no longer in range, say here, the sun appears to set, and the refraction of the light, as well as things particularly in the air, such as clouds and over, creates a beautiful effect of roses and pinks. And when it's gone away, we have a sunset and nighttime. Until that point, once again turns to face the sun. What does any of that have to do with a God? Genesis is not perfect. Genesis is unchangeable. And that's the problem. Science changes in response to new information. If something new comes to light and is better fitting within a particular theory than something that was there previously, the old stuff is removed and the new stuff is put in. That's how we learn and develop through science. Genesis is completely unchanged, which means it can't adapt. If Genesis says the earth was created in 6 days and on the seventh day God rested, whereas science shows that the earth developed over a very long period of time, about 4 billion years, then Genesis is wrong. But because it's written down to use the source of dogma, it can't change. And every time science learns something new that disproves an aspect of Genesis, it becomes less and less relevant. Why not just go for the perfect assumption that Genesis was written as a series of fables and just discard it in favor of rationality and science? Well, I suppose one of these was bound to slip in here and there. First, atheism is not a religion. Atheism is a disbelief in the existence of a God and or supernatural creator. Therefore, we do not have a Bible. And as an atheist, I do not hate God. I don't believe in God. It would be like me hating Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't exist either. And a movie is not evidence. Quite simply, I do not hate God, the being that you worship, any more than I hate Darth Vader. Why? Because they're both fictional. Completely made up. The only difference is, you don't have a church dedicated to the Holy Vader. This is a personal experience thing, isn't it? Presumably God has revealed himself to you and will do so to me. Except that your personal experience is irrelevant. It's like claiming you've seen a UFO in the sky. Unless you can provide actual evidence that you actually saw a UFO, you have no claim to it. Just because you say, I believe it in my heart, or the Bible tells me so, so it must be true, is not evidence. God may have revealed himself to you, but here's another thing. If you're hearing voices from a mysterious figure that isn't there, you're not a chosen prophet. You're just crazy. You've been watching the History Channel, haven't you? Here's the thing. If you're a sane atheist, you're not going to accept the idea of the pyramids being built by aliens or an alien named Zarpox the Conqueror coming to Earth and mating with apes to make humanity any more than believe in the existence of God and the Bible. I do not accept the idea of alien creation / design because I have no evidence for it. Do I believe in aliens? Quite possibly. There's a lot of space out there. Do I believe they actually came here and screwed with monkeys to make humanity? No, because I have no evidence for it. Any more than I have any evidence for the existence of your God. Ah, the devil. What would you do without him? Well, you might actually have to take responsibility for your own actions. If the devil is fooling me, fine. Even looking at the concept of the devil in the Bible, he appears about twice. First, he basically acts on God's behalf, because God is terribly insecure, to mess around with Job. Whereupon Job actually does not renounce his faith in God, more the fool he, and the devil just disappears after God says, "Ha, told you so." The devil was acting on God's behalf because God is a dick. And the other time he appears? In the Bible, talking to Jesus to convince him to not be a suicidal asshole. Seems to me that if you're going to accept the idea that you're being fooled by the devil, I'd rather listen to the devil than the God, because God is a genocidal asshole, and the devil actually seems to be sensible. That aside, I don't believe in the existence of the devil any more than I believe in the existence of God. I don't believe there's a person telling me, be good or else, any more than there's the person telling me, if you do something evil, I got some candy for you. Okay, who let Ray Comfort on this list? Yes, bananas are perfectly designed for the human hand. And oranges are nice, big, ripe, juicy, and orange. And lemons are yellow, and pomegranates have lots of seeds in them, and watermelons are tasty and yummy. You know how all these things came about? Man. A banana, for example, in its original natural state, is small, hard, green. Many varieties had poisonous seeds, and to be able to eat them at all, they had to be cooked. Careful crossbreeding by human hands and minds over many years developed the tasty, yummy, squishy banana we have nowadays, and gave comedians the glory of the banana peel slip. God had nothing to do with it. Man did. Obviously, you are either deliberately misconstruing or are unaware of the meaning of scientific theory. A scientific theory is something which is capable of being tested empirically. If you want to know about, say, gravity, we test the aspects of gravity, why an object falls, how fast it falls, different gravitational fields, how gravity works, etc., 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 and we call that the theory of gravitation. The same is thing with evolution. Everything associated with evolution is put within think of it as being like an envelope. And into it goes all the stuff associated with evolution. The fossil record, abiogenesis, population genetics, etc. And that's the theory of evolution. All the things related to it would support that theory. Anything that doesn't support it doesn't go in the envelope. It's a scientific theory in a sense that it is backed by research and evidence. That's why it's taught in school, because it has been established to be true according to the facts. We don't call it the fact of evolution because we don't know everything about it yet, but we're still learning. Whereas creationists just knows. Going back to my terribly simplified analogy of the envelopes, take another envelope, write theory of creationism on it. And what goes in there? The Bible, or the Quran, or whatever holy book that you're attempting to justify to support your theories of a benevolent being creating the universe. Now, I'm not going to say that evolution wins because their envelope has more stuff in it. That's not important. What matters is that just about everything that supposedly backs up your theory of creationism is either a ridiculous fairy tale or has been disproven by scientific research for everything in the evolution envelope. Science says, how do we change our views to fit the facts? Creationism says, these are the facts. How do we change them to fit our views? Creationism is not taught in school because it's wrong. Humans are flawed. That's why we have laws. I, for example, do not go out and kill somebody and steal their stuff because it is morally wrong according to laws and according to the aspects of society of which I live. But I think you're more likely talking about sinning. In this case, sin is described as being a crime against the laws of religion and or God. For example, eating pork, or raping a woman and not paying her father 20 shekels to buy her as a wife, and things like that. According to the rules that are sinful, I think I'll stick with the sane human laws, thank you very much, because A, I like a bacon sandwich, and B, I don't consider women target to be raped. Look at it this way. Life exists in the form it does on this planet because it fits the physical laws of the universe. We breathe oxygen because that's what our atmosphere is made of. We drink water because it's what is available. On another planet, we might breathe methane and eat sulfur. The point is, the universe is not fine-tuned to suit us. Life fine-tunes to fit the universe.